Issue number 3 is called Cold Comfort. Jedi Master Emmerich Kafter and Republic private investigator Sion Holt have been paired to uncover the truth behind the unusual murder of a Jedi. Emmerich and Sion narrowly escaped an encounter with the Nile and the mysterious figure Arathob Fowl, which impeded their investigation. Now they must race to piece together the few scraps of information they've uncovered before another Jedi is killed. Lots of words here, lots of great discussion and dialogue. Again, I'm not going to read it to you. I always recommend going to your local comic book store and handling your business. So Sion and Emmerich race to find information. Sion and Stellan and Emmerich chat theories. They may be thinking it's an inside job, like inside the Chancellor's office. We find out from Marchion Ro that it is Dr. Uttersond. And in the books, Dr. Uttersond, who's this dude, is keeping Mari Senteca alive. And Mari Senteca is responsible for the hyperspace lanes and the path engine and basically all of the Nile attacks. So it's a very interesting connection. For me, this was kind of cool because I've heard of Uttersond, but I didn't really put a name to the face. And now I was able to put a name to the face, and it's like a little rat creature, so that's fine. Marchion Ro has Uttersond spied on as he does not trust him. He feels that something is going on. We go to the Midnight Den. Sion sings the lullaby that is plaguing Emmerich and Stellan as sort of a joke. Emmerich and Stellan chit-chat at the bar. And I've read this down that Dalna is mentioned, and that something about info on the archives being deleted. So I found that to be pretty cool. I don't know if it's just like a small detail that they wanted to throw in, but it reminded me of when Kenobi was looking for something, and what's-her-face, Jocasta Nu, was like, if it's not in the archives, then it just clearly doesn't exist. So a little bit of that action going on here, so that's a nice connection. Avar Chris calls Stellan. There's been another attack. And then that attack, you'll see where it connects in just a moment. Here we go. We got Uttersond, the Nile come in, and they're like, what are you doing, dude? And he's like, I'm not doing anything. Like, trying to play it off cool, and then all of a sudden, alarms start to blare. We transport to Starlight Beacon, and this is where this comic connects us with the High Republic comic. Probably midway through when Tarek and Seret have their encounter with the creatures and Kiev. They go undercover underneath the Nile to find out, I guess, where Lorna D was going. And they encounter one of these force-sucking creatures. And Tarek and Seret have a bad time with it. And that's kind of where this part of the story happens. Kiev Trennis, of course, makes an appearance. And she was our main character in the regular Star Wars High Republic, which you can find over on the YouTube channel. If you look at the High Republic playlist, you can find all of those there, or go back in the lives and check those out. Back to the Nile. The Nile preparing to be boarded, and then just like you think he wasn't coming, boom, there is Fowl. And we know from before that Fowl and Uttersond are working together, but Uttersond seems scared, so what's actually going on, we do not know. Look, an ad for the Galactic Star Cruiser. Make sure you purchase your room for 6 million credits. Starlight Beacon. Stellan, Emmerich, and Sion are chatting. They're trying to figure it all out. They, Sion's like, I don't understand, like, what is it, some sort of a hallucination, what's going on? And Stellan's like, I was there on Grizzle. It wasn't a hallucination. Something is affecting us. And she's like, whoa, my bad. I didn't really mean to offend you. Ram Jamaram sort of shows up. He's from Valo. So this is now post-Valo attack. Again, just putting us into the timeline a little bit. Ram Jamaram also shows up in the IDW High Republic series Adventures, which, again, can be found on YouTube. Stellan apologizes, and Avar Chris shows up, and Sion and Emmerich sort of leave them be to talk. We go back to Utterson. Fal attacks the Nile, and we finally figure out that Utterson is working alongside Fal, but the spider ship of the Nile show up, and this is the same spider ship that shows up in IDW number 1, if you remember making that connection. Back to Starlight Beacon, we have a lot of the characters from the IDW series here. By the way, the author of this also wrote the IDW series, so that makes sense why there would be those connections. Padawans and buckets of blood are there. They're having a good time. Emmerich and Cyan are just walking around Starlight Beacon. Normal things are sort of happening. The Nile investigate, and Utterson is hurt. Right? They're setting the Fal, and Utterson are setting this up, so Utterson is hurt. And Ro commands him to be alive, because Martian's like, I'm not really sure what's going on, but if we kill him, we're never going to know what's actually going on. And then Starlight, I'm back on Starlight Beacon. This is only issue number 3, but Emmerich and Cyan have, like, this weird close moment, even though, like, we found out in issue 1 that she doesn't trust anybody, and Emmerich is sort of closed off because he's the investigator. But they have this weird close moment, and I just find it weird. I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't feeling it. I was not feeling it. But this issue, look, it doesn't even tell us a date this time. It just says on sale in January. Guess we'll have to find out. On sale in January. But that leaves us at the end of chapter 3. Not chapter 3, issue number 3. So the plot thickens. We've got 2 different plot lines going on. We've got Emmerich and Cyan, and they are attempting to investigate. We've got Fal and Utterson, and they're sort of working together for something. So it's like the Nile are against Fal and Utterson. Emmerich and Cyan are trying to figure out what's been happening. It's weaving itself inside the story of what we've already read. So now we're going to start to see things heat up